Hi everyone, this is Miss Randi from the Vortex, here as part of our Teen Crafternoon series. Today I'm going to show you how to make DIY sun catchers. And here's an example. So what are you going to need to get started? First, you're going to need a piece of paper. This is just plain white printer paper. You're also going to need markers. You're going to need a mason jar lid, some yarn or twine. You're going to need scissors, possibly some tape, definitely paper towels, some kind of cotton swab, glue, and oil. I am using what I had on hand, and it's just corn oil. So let me show you how to get started. First, you want to take your piece of paper and your mason jar lid and a marker. And what we're going to do is we're going to trace the outside of the mason jar lid onto the paper. Okay, so you are going to end up with a circle. Then what you want to do, we did the outside, now we're going to trace along the inside of the mason jar lid. So we just want to lay that flat inside the circle that we just created. And we're going to trace in the inside. So you're going to end up with something that looks like that. So here is where you get to be creative. You can color flowers, you can just make a rainbow, whatever you'd like to do. You want to color inside that inner circle. You can overlap a little, but really you want to make sure, like if you're drawing a fish or a turtle or whatever, that it stays inside that inner circle. Here's an example that I made a little bit earlier. I decided to just pick different colors and make kind of a striped rainbow pattern. I went a little bit outside my inner circle just so that I could be sure that there was no white showing when I started gluing into my mason jar lid. So after you finish coloring, what you want to do is apply whatever oil you have on hand. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're going to take your piece of paper and your cotton swab, and you're going to get your cotton swab covered with a little bit of oil. I have a little cup here just to make it easier to use the cotton swab. So I'm going to pour a little bit of oil into my cup. Take the cotton swab and dab it into the cup so that I can get a little bit of oil on it. You don't want too much. You don't really want to saturate the paper. You just want to make sure that your design is covered, because this is what is going to make it have that translucent quality. So then what you want to do is you just want to dab the oil onto your design. You may want to test this first with whatever type of marker or colored pencil or crayon that you're using, because it shouldn't smear, but there's a possibility that it might. So all I'm doing is dabbing the oil on, and you can see the excess on the paper. What I would do then is grab a paper towel and blot some of that excess oil off. So now it is covered, but it is not like ooey gooey. And what we want to do is set this to the side and let it dry. Probably for about 5 to 10 minutes. Once that's dry, we're going to cut it out and glue it into our mason jar lid. I have an example that I made a little bit earlier, just a smiley face. So now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it out around the outer circle. It's going to be a little bit too big, so you can trim it. You don't have to cut right directly on the line. So there you see, I have my smiley face. I'm going to test and see how it fits. Ooh, look at that. Good job. So, next you want to take your glue and you want to add a little bit of glue to the inside of your mason jar lid. Now sometimes this calls for tacky glue, and that's probably a better glue to use, but all I had on hand was school glue. And it does work, it's just going to have to dry for a little bit. So once you have the glue on the inside of your mason jar lid, you want to take your paper and just press it down onto the lid. So it ends up looking like that from the inside, and then like that from the outside. When I first did my examples, I kind of let them dry overnight. And then I added a yarn string. So all I did was cut, I don't know, probably about that long. Maybe 12 inches, 8 inches, whatever looks good to you. And what you're going to do is wrap that around your mason jar lid. So here's where the tape comes in. I am not very coordinated sometimes. So what I did was I used a little piece of Scotch tape and I taped my yarn to the lid so that I could tie it on. Because what you want to do, see, no coordination. I'm going to lay it down on the table. And I'm going to wrap it around the outside. And then you're just going to tie a knot. I'm going to double knot it so that it'll stay. So then it ends up like that. Then all you want to do is take the ends of your yarn and tie it together so you have kind of a loop, almost like a Christmas ornament that you would hang on the tree. And then you can hang it up on your window and the sun will come through and hit your design and make a lovely little sun catcher. Now, what if you don't have a mason jar lid? Well, you don't need a mason jar lid. All I did was cut out my pattern, use a hole punch, and then just tied some yarn on it. So it's still the same process, we're just not gluing it into the mason jar lid. You could use a cup or anything that is circular in shape if you want it to look like this. You could even design star sun catchers. Sky's the limit. Be as creative as you want to be. Now here's a couple of things that I want to recommend. If you're going to make this project, I would say use markers or colored pencils. You can use crayons, but the wax and the crayons and the oil don't really do very well together. My cat was also very interested in what I was doing and thought it would be very fun to lick the paper after I had applied the oil. So you may want to do this out of the way of any pets that you have. Also, paper towels are important because this project is a little messy, kind of like some of the other ones that I've done. Well, that's all I have today. Hopefully you will have some great sun catchers that you can show me. This one was made with markers. This one was made with a colored pencil. I think you can have a lot of fun with this project. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you do decide to make this at home, share your results with us on Instagram using #FountaindaleLib. For more events like this, visit our website at fountaindale.org/events. Hope to see you soon. Bye.